Thank you very much. Good morning, Coach Kaspar. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, as always, on the teleconference this morning. Again, to members of the media on the call, just a reminder, please press *1 at this time to get in the queue for questions for Coach Danny Kaspar of Texas State. Coach, before we get to any questions, this is the first time we're getting a chance to talk to you this season. Can you just give us your thoughts on your team as you went through non-conference play and now your first few games of conference action?
Yes, well, we've had an encouraging off season. We went 7-5, and there were two losses in there that I was disappointed in. One was against Texas A&M Corpus Christi in a close loss here at home, and again at Hawaii in a close loss to Hawaii in the Diamond Head Classic. The other, I felt like we should have won those games. In our wins, we played pretty good. In our losses, there were two losses we've had that I was disappointed in the way we played. In three of our losses, I thought we played good enough to win, but just let it get away from us. We're a very young team. I've got 8 new players. 4 freshmen are playing a lot for me. And they've made some progress. One of them is starting for me, and 2 are averaging about 15 minutes a game for me. And so there's a lot of progress been made in conference play. We've lost 2 games that we think we could have won very easily, both one at home, one on the road. We lost to South Alabama last Saturday on the road in an overtime game in which missed free throws was the major culprit for our defeat. And then we lost to Coastal Carolina in a very close game in which we were up 2 with less than 3 minutes to go. Coastal has a very, very good basketball team. And so I'm not saying anything about, or in South Alabama for that matter either, I'm not saying anything about their teams other than we had played well enough to win and we let it get away from us. I think that's a reflection of our number of new players. And we are growing up as a team. Some of my freshmen and JUCO transfers are looking more comfortable in our system, and I feel good about where we are in terms of at this point in the season. I do think that if we stay healthy and continue to play defense and offense the way we have been, I think we can make a much more of a splash than people thought at the beginning of the year.
Coach, thank you very much. We'll go to our first questions from Ishmael Johnson of the San Marcos Daily Record. San Marcos Daily Record.
Thank you. How important was they're two different teams, but how important was the Troy win going against another high-powered offense like Lafayette?
It was a very big win, Ish. They're a very talented team, and they have a lot of depth. I would say they play 8, 9, maybe 10 guys easily, at least 10 minutes a game. And so after you lose a game like we did Saturday, and you worry about your team, losing their edge, and it was very pleasing to see us come back and beat a good team. Troy had USC beat when USC was ranked top 25. They were playing Wyoming very well. They went to Hawaii and beat Hawaii, which is very hard to do, to win in Hawaii against Hawaii. They have their best team that I've seen them have in the 4 years I've been here, and that was a very good win for us. I thought our kids were very tough and they hung in there, and anyway, I was very pleased, and I think it's going to be very important to us. It gives us confidence and going into this weekend's games.
Mm-hmm. Knowing Lafayette's a big rebounding team, especially with Bryce Washington, how important are Emmanuel King and Maxwell Starwood?
They're very, very important. Even Nedja Prejovic is going to be very, very important. Bryce Washington is leading. I want to say one of the leaders, if not the leader, in double doubles.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to recruit him. And so I know a little bit about Bryce, and he's an excellent rebounder, passer, and he's scoring around 14 game points a game. But certainly worthy of serious all conference honors. And but that he's a load to carry. I think in Sean Long was a great player for them, but in some ways Bryce Washington does more for them in terms of rebounding, passing, and things like that than even Sean did. Both are great players, but Bryce certainly has picked up a great deal of the load that Sean Long was carrying.
Last year, you guys got that the first win against them at home. What do you see differently in that game compared to previous matchups?
Well, I just think we played. We played with a lot of confidence, and we were focused that game. And they're very tough to beat at their place. And we've had very good games with them here, but we just haven't been able to get over the hump. And it was I thought we played pretty good D against them. Sean Long did not hurt us in that game a great deal as he had the first game at their place. Mm-hmm. So it was not letting them beat us inside was one big thing that I remember about that game.
All righty. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Ish.
Thank you very much, Ishmael. Coach, your defense ranks 25th in the nation and tops in the Sun Belt in scoring defense. What's been the biggest key to your defensive effort this year?
Well, I just think that there's anytime you take up a program, and the first thing you got to do is change the culture. And this was a run and gun program when I got here, and it's been a hard turn for me, harder than the other two places I worked at as head coach. Got a group of young men that have bought in a lot better and every year they bought in a little bit better than the previous year, but this year by far is the best buy-in of any team I've had. And it's spearheaded by O.J. Black. He's a good defender and a good leader, and we've gotten some buy-in, like I said, from other players key players coming back. So they're just believing in what I'm selling better than previous teams. Though, as I said, it's gotten better every year. But by far, this is the best that I've had in my 4 years here.
And Coach, one final question. Caven Gilder-Tilbury is he's eclipsed the 1,000 point mark this year. Played 4 years under you at Texas State. Can you just give us some insight on what it's like to coach him and what he brings to your team?
Well, he's he was a recruit we signed early at Stephen F. And brought him over here. Stephen F. Austin brought him over here with us. He's grown every year. He was a key player for us as a freshman. Even played a lot, and so he's a key player, and we think he's someone who's grown up and we can count on in clutch situations. And like all players, the older they get, the more mature they get. They all mature at varying degrees, some quicker and fast than others. And he had to do a little growing up his freshman, sophomore year, and even last year. And I've seen more toughness out of him this year than I had previous years. So not to say that can't get better, but he's really come on and won some big games for us. And where we had to have somebody step up, and he has stepped up and hit some big shots for us in several games this year.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Those are all the questions, and we appreciate your time, and best of luck the rest of the way.
All right. Thank you very much.